working for you. This is the 23 News Update at 10.
Smartphones, TVs, and radios will receive an emergency alert message tomorrow afternoon to test the nation in the event of a crisis. But it could put lives in danger in a way that you may not have thought of.
23 News reporter Jake Pearson talks to domestic violence awareness advocates about how Wednesday's national message could actually expose survivors who are keeping a hidden phone.
These wireless emergency alerts will send simultaneously at 1:20 Central Time, but something has domestic abuse survivors worried. There is actually no way to disable the message from arriving, even through your phone settings.
I think there's a purpose definitely for the alerts, checking systems, notifying of missing children.
For some, not all that glitters is gold.
Having that taken away could be critical to them accessing supports and safety.
Wireless emergency alerts, or WEAs, are sent out by government agencies to confirm that all cell phones can receive emergency warnings like earthquakes, active shooters, and more. Although this is good for the majority of the U.S., it could prove deadly for others.
Survivors create their own individualized safety plans.
No two instances of domestic violence are the same, according to Andrea Carlson, who says it can be common for domestic abuse survivors to have a hidden phone.
Having an extra means of communication, that's an important bridge to safety.
Although phone users can't stop the WEA message from incoming, there is a way to delay the message.
If they decide it's best then to shut the phone down. If any safety risk occurs, I encourage people to trust their instincts, trust their gut, and do what they think is safest.
Experts say turning off your phone will delay the message until you next turn your phone on, which could be the difference between life or death.
Turn off your phone, stash it somewhere else. Trust survivors. They are going to know what's best for them.
The National Domestic Violence Hotline suggests looking into Apple's Safety Check, a feature for iOS 16 or later, which allows users to quickly change sharing and access permissions to stop an abuser from following clues.
Such an important thing to think about. Thank you, Jake. And a similar emergency alert test was actually conducted on April 23rd in the UK.
They say the warning causes phones and tablets to produce a siren-like sound, even if your phone is on silent.
One woman